Strapmore gang, it has been a bad week for Diddy. Okay, the Diddler is down bad. 50 Cent is up 50,000 points right now. Ever since this documentary dropped, okay, The Reckoning, all right, I haven't finished it yet. Okay, I had to renew my Netflix to actually get in on this one because I thought this was absolutely like one of the most interesting things that I've seen in a while. If you want, if you're too broke to afford Netflix, don't you worry, okay, don't you worry, because your boy, I did a video on this topic a year ago. Ironically, this was actually my most viewed video of last year. This racked up nearly 5 million views in just 12 months. And, you know, for everybody that says all you ever talk about is gang violence, all you talk blah, 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 blah. My most popular video of last year was actually basically a teaser to The Reckoning. It was a DIY independent version of The Reckoning. I did 50 Cent's 20-year plot to destroy Diddy. This went absolutely brazy. Okay, so if you can't afford Netflix and you're broke, I got you. Don't you worry. I got that for you there. But okay, I followed up with a little video 8 days ago. It's crazy, 8 days ago, man. This video, okay, Diddy's $1 million hit on Tupac exposed. Now, in this video, I focused very specifically on the theory that the Diddler is actually the person who put up $1 million bounty for Tupac to get killed. Keefe D is the guy accused of orchestrating the murder of Tupac. He's currently awaiting trial. There's rumors that he might try and flip and throw Diddy into the mix. He said in interviews that he was supposed to be getting some $1 million payment for this. It didn't end up happening. Somebody stole the money and spent it on a nightclub, apparently. It's actually a crazy story. So go and check that out if you want. But in today's video, The Reckoning Part 3, we're going to call this, I want to take a closer look at the theories that Diddy actually is responsible for Biggie's murder. Is he responsible? Did he profit off of it? Was he just happy and dancing dancing in the videos when it all happened? Well, I'm going to get into it today, but a lot of people believe that Diddy actually did orchestrate the death of his own artist, the notorious B.I.G., and it has actually been mentioned in this documentary, in The Reckoning. Okay, so what I want to get to in this video, okay, and the headphones are going on because you know I'm about to lock the hell in, right? I'm about to lock the hell in. We are going to be digging deep into absolutely every aspect. One of the most controversial points of that documentary, okay, is basically Diddy allegedly having something to do with Biggie's death and also his very odd behavior that he was exhibiting after it all went down. Check this clip out.
My car was in front, Biggie was in the middle, and then another security vehicle was behind, which had the off-duty officers in. And we left out of the driveway of the parking lot, and we made a right. And as we made the right, we were just driving, and vehicles were one behind each other. And I was looking straight ahead, basically, and I just heard shots ring out. And then I heard somebody say Biggie's car had got shot at. And so, like, while my car was moving, I had just opened the door, and the driver, he stopped, and I had jumped out, and I had ran to the car, and I had immediately did that because I knew his leg was broke, so I know there's no way he could have made it out of the car. And then when I went there, I opened up the door, and he was hunched over, and was trying to talk to him and trying to move him over, and I was trying to tell somebody to call 911, but I just told one of the drivers of security to just jump in the car, just take me to the nearest hospital, please.
That's bad. No Diddy.
My car was in front. Biggie was...
It's a little bit suspicious, right? His car was in front, Biggie's was behind. You just so happened to be in different cars, all right? A lot of people are saying Diddy a monster. It's a little bit convenient. Biggie's car was strategically placed in the middle. That mouth that never closes, meant to lie for a lifetime. It's the audacity to even discuss it, knowing you're the guilty party. I knew his leg was broke, so I knew there was no way he would make it out the car. Whoa. You forgot this? Kenny, run the next 3 lights. Run the next 3 lights, Kenny. It was an orchestrated setup. The smirk explains everything. He is responsible for this. He don't even seem sad telling the story of how Biggie died. SMH, he emotionless. Those kind of people are dangerous. He marked Biggie's car with a sticker. Demon. All right? Everybody thinks he had something to do with it. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to rewind. We're going to go all the way back to the start. And we're going to break down the story of exactly how all of this went down. But before we do that, man, you might be thinking, your boy looking fresh as hell today. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, I got a P.O. box now, okay? I've been getting some little drops from some clothing brands that have been rocking with me. I'm very grateful for that, so I just want to shout them out. They're not paying me, but they laced me up with some good fits and some good chains. So shout out to my guys at Never Forget Loyalty for the hat and the sweater, man, for the hoodie. And shout out to my guys Sanucci for the chain. They got me right, they got me shining, they iced me out, okay? I'm rocking with it. It is actually a vibe. And you know what? I don't think I've ever looked this fresh in no videos. I ain't gonna lie. This might have to be me from now on. Look at me, all right? I'm not a nerd anymore. I've glowed up. But anyway, let's get back to the explanation. So it would be March the 9th, 1997, when Biggie and Diddy actually attended a Soul Train Awards party that was apparently hosted by Vibe magazine in Los Angeles. Now, the channel, basically a very legendary channel, The Murder Rap, kind of broke this down in detail, okay? And this is a channel that's kind of extensively covered the Tupac situation. They've been covering the Biggie situation. This is just a legendary channel. I don't know if this was once broadcast on TV, but basically, like, the YouTube channel is kind of uploading this and, old stuff and new stuff about the Biggie and Tupac situations. And I think it is just amazing work that they're doing. So they basically broke down exactly what happened right before Diddy and Biggie left the venue suspiciously in separate cars. Let's hear how this tomfoolery went down.
On the night of Biggie's murder, he was attending a party at LA's Peterson Automotive. On the night of Biggie's murder, he was attending a party at LA's Peterson Automotive Museum, billed as an after-party for the previous night's Soul Train Music Awards, which had been held at the Shrine Auditorium in LA the night before. Long story short, the party was shut down by the fire department around midnight, and Biggie and Puffy and their entourage made their way down to the first floor of the parking garage, where they took photos and talked to fans and waited for their vehicles to be brought around. They were going to go to another party at a house from there. During this time, their security detail was on alert for any possible troublemakers and the huge crowd of people that were leaving the party and milling around in the parking garage. It's only been about 6 months at this point since the murder of Biggie's friend turned rival, Tupac Shakur. The rivalry between Biggie and Puffy and Death Row Records is still very much alive, and they're just blocks away, literally down the street from Death Row Records offices. So they're almost literally in Death Row's backyard, partying months after Tupac's murder. So security is on alert. There were known gang members at the party, including Bloods, who were allegedly aligned with Death Row. So, Biggie has enemies there, and the risk is high. Maybe higher than they probably realized, unfortunately. They spotted a man in a suit and bow tie described as looking like a member of the Nation of Islam, and those members were known to sometimes provide security. This is the figure that followers of this case have always focused on, because the composite sketches of the shooter that were made after the fact showed a guy in a bow tie. And Puffy's body.
I ain't gonna lie, this reminds me of The Wire. Does anyone remember The Wire? What's his name? Brother Muzone. He was a character in The Wire that they kind of like brought in as an out-of-town hitman, all right? Let me see this guy. I think it's Brother Muzone. With the bow tie, they're saying he's from the Nation of Islam. Like, they really be having the nation. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like maybe they based this character on this sketch. Because, bruh, hang on. That's the same guy. That's him. Like, bro, what? That's who they say shot him. Now, just to kind of give you a little sidebar here, okay? Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, would basically tell DJ Vlad that Diddy refused to let him sit out the window, at the window with his gun for protection that night. A few little weird, suspicious things going on where saying Diddy didn't. Hang on, what? Like Diddy ain't do what he was supposed to do.
What you doing? I said, I'm riding on the side of the car. I'm having my gun out. I'm on the side of the car. At the time, I'm 265, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the street 30, you know what I mean? So I was a little slimmer back then. So he says to me, Gene, if you don't get in this car, you ain't gonna never work for Bad Boy ever again. I said, man, how the fuck you gonna try to tell me how to do my job? He said, Gene, we don't need that look. We don't need that look. Get in the car. As I go to get in the car, this motherfucker reached down and let his seat all the way back. So now I got to put my leg sideways. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? And so then Kenny said, you ready? He said, you.
So mad suspicious, right? He wants to be hanging out the side of the car with the strap, making it very obvious that they're not to be played with. Diddy said, if you do that, you're not going to be working for Bad Boy ever again. Very, very simple. Why? He's saying what? And then he got him all squished in the car. He's saying, what the hell are you, bruh? Why? All right. Now, Lil Cease, okay, one of his guys, Lil Cease, he was in Biggie's car, and he basically said that Diddy's vehicle ran a red light while their car stopped at it, and that is when the shots rang out. Now, this is suspicious as it gets.
Yeah, so when we pulled out the joint, and nothing either, like, we're not seeing nothing. It's nothing to make us, like, look and, it was just regular shit. We've been hanging out here for months, not thinking nothing of it. We get out, Puff pull out first. We pull out behind him. He blow past the light. We stopped at the light. When we stopped at the light, I see some chicks like on the curb. Me yelling out the window, yo, mom, what's up? Yo, what's good? And before you know it, a car just rolled up, start popping in the car. Didn't say nothing, didn't yell nothing. Just everybody got down in the truck. So that shit stopped. We all hopped out. Everybody door open but Big door. We all went and got on the back of the truck and was like, and then we all peeked, looked around, Big door went open. We all ran back to Big. He was slumped over the console. And by that time, his truck had came back around.
Very, very suspicious, okay? Now, with all of this going down, with this very strange sequence of events, 6 months after Tupac's murder, this is when the news would report on Biggie's death, okay? So the timing of this was very strange, right? And they're saying, yo, Tupac, maybe there was $1 million bounty, played with the wrong people in Las Vegas, but it went how it went. But then it's only 6 months later, Biggie dead. And that man Diddy in the middle of the whole thing.
He was only 24 years old, was just starting what was expected to be a promising career in music. But tonight, it's only what could have been. Los Angeles police are investigating the shooting death of rapper Notorious B.I.G., also known as Biggie Smalls. He was gunned down early today. The rap star, whose real name is Christopher Wallace, had just left the Soul Train Awards party and was sitting in his car when a vehicle drove by and someone opened fire.
He was going to his car, and we heard a shot bang on, everyone started running, but at the time we didn't know that it was Biggie that got shot.
Wallace was pronounced dead after being rushed to a nearby hospital. So far, police say they have no suspects.
Well, Biggie Smalls' legacy will be one of...
No suspects. No suspects. Very, very interesting. Now, a group suspected to have kind of, been close to this whole situation would be the Southside Compton Crips. Now, apparently these Southside Compton Crips that were tied to Tupac's murder were used by Diddy for protection. They were apparently at the party at the Peterson Automotive Museum, and they were later questioned by the cops in the Biggie murder investigation.
2 days later, Parker is located at his girlfriend's house and he's interviewed by Poole and his partner. He eventually admits that he was at the vibe party on the night of Biggie's murder, along with Orlando Anderson and DeAndre Smith, who coincidentally are the two guys who were allegedly in the backseat of the shooter's car when Tupac was shot in Vegas, and that they arrived together in Smith's Burgundy IROC. And he claims that they left the party before the shooting happened, and that Keefe later paged them and spoke to Orlando, telling him that Biggie was dead. And when asked what vehicle Keefe had driven to the vibe party, Parker says he doesn't know. About a week later, an article in the LA Times by Chuck Phillips reveals the news that Keefe's car had been seized by the LAPD, and that E.D. Fall, who was Keefe's attorney at the time, had told Phillips that Keefe was going to be meeting with the RHD. So this is getting put out to the public now.
How crazy is that, right? That there actually is a belief. There's actually a belief that it was the same damn people, all connected to the Biggie murder, connected to the Tupac. Y'all was just causing chaos and destroying the rap game. It's very, very unfortunate, and it's very, very suspicious. But what's even more crazy is that in his Vlad TV interview, Gene Deal would reveal that Biggie had actually shown him a contract from another label prior to his death. Apparently, he might not have wanted the boss of the label all up in the video, dancing, talking on the record. How crazy is this?
Yo, Gene, I like you. I would take you with me, bruh, but you love that nigga too much. I said, love that nigga too much? What the fuck you mean I love a nigga too much? He said, yeah, you love him too much, bruh. I would take you with me. I said, nigga, how you gonna take me with you and you broke? He said, I'm broke. I said, yeah, nigga, you broke, man. You owe Mike Gadget $30,000 for the system and them drop boxes he put in your truck. And he was like, yo, how you know that? I said, niggas talk and run their mouth big. Yo, he said, oh, shit. He said, but I'm about to get this money. So he showed me, I said, you about to get that money? He said, yeah, look at this. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Lil Cease, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy, I don't know, Tracy Murray?
Tracy
Lee, and the commission. And I think the contract was for so many years for like $62 million. It comes out to like $62 million. I was like, that's what I said. I'm like, damn. I said, yo, Big, you know what I'm saying? He said, Big, because he was smoking those soft pack Newports. I said, Big, you want a Newport? Because I wouldn't give him a Newport at first, because I had the box Newports. You know, I said,
so he potentially about to have $62 million. Wonder how Diddy would have felt about that. Wonder how the Diddler would have felt. Now, according to Mob Pyru, okay, according to Mob James, basically, he was affiliated with Death Row at the time. Obviously, Suge Knight, Pyru, they basically running around, red ragging, causing a lot of problems in the industry. Obviously, Suge Knight was there when Tupac died. That was his man's. Word on the street was that Suge Knight was actually the person who arranged Biggie's death in retaliation for Tupac's murder. So there's conflicting narratives.
But the hood talks. Everybody know who was doing what, especially when it comes around death row. So yeah, everybody knew who did it, why it was done, and you know, some cats are still applying the fact that it happened because we lost Tupac. So just in retaliation of that, you know, it is what it is. That's how they felt.
Okay, so in terms of the streets talking and the rumors, is Poochie the name that comes up more often than not?
That's it.
Okay, so if you were to bet,
I win a lot of goddamn money.
You know, if you.
So he's saying that he thinks this Death Row Blood Poochie is the one that killed Biggie, and he did it on behalf of Suge Knight. So just for fairness, okay, and for the record, all right, there might be a motive, and things are a little bit suspicious with the Diddy case, but people swear down that really it was Suge Knight that sent the hit, and it was a Blood that did it for him. Now, over on The Art of Dialogue, okay, Gene Deal would actually claim that Diddy knew that Biggie's life was in danger, but he actually chose to feed him to the wolves. Perhaps he didn't want him to go and take that contract. Perhaps he was not feeling a type of way about Biggie being the biggest man at the label. He wanted to be the main man. He wanted to go every breath I take, going to the top on his own without Biggie. We don't know for sure, but basically they're saying Diddy fed him to the wolves, man.
Man, you would get 100 people in the room, and out of the 100 people, probably 3 would say it was all right for Big to be in L.A. 97% of those people would say he had no business in L.A. at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Come on, man. Look, you got to look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk. He couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother. Why the hell would you rent studio time in L.A. for him to finish your album when in fact you got your own studio Daddy's house? Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop this bullshit, man. Let's stop doing these interviews, man, about this shit. Because people ain't getting it.
So he basically saying Puffy brought Biggie to LA on purpose. He wanted him to get dealt with for Tupac's death. He wanted all the shine. Okay, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Okay, there's not as much info on this one as the Tupac and, you know, the alleged $1 million bounty that was allegedly put onto Tupac's heady by allegedly Diddy, the diddler. But I do feel like Diddy has been a very slippery character over the years. A lot of people have lost their lives connected to him. And honestly, I do kind of, like, at a certain point, I start finding it hard to believe, like, this guy got too many lives. He got 9 lives out here. He got too many lives of his own, and everybody around him seemed to go out way too quick and way too sad. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Diddy lined up Biggie? Do you think, like, he fed him to the wolves? Do you feel like he fully set him up? He's saying he blew through the green light. He blew through the red light. Everybody else stopped. And that's when the shooting happened. It is very, very suspect. And as far as I'm aware, no one officially has ever been held accountable for this charge. Let me know what you think, guys. I'm about to do another video either on EBK, Jabo, or David. I will decide what video to do in a minute. I've got a few different bits of research on my plate, but I appreciate you guys tapping in and consuming the content. Shout out to my guys at the NFL. Shout out to Sanucci, you know what I'm saying? And if anyone wants to send me some lit stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my drip up. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be feeling nice today, man. So look, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much, and I'm out.